Mr. Gallo, I'm going to call one of our members who hasn't shown up yet. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Hi, Attorney Beecher, how you doing?
Doing well, Mr. Gallo. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Hi, Ben.
Hello, everybody.
There you go. Ready, Mayor?
I believe we are all set to start, except for one person. Mr. Mizuko hasn't joined yet. But I know he was planning to. So I guess if you
We'll
wish.
proceed. We'll
Right.
proceed for now. We'll let him in when he comes.
He's right here. He's coming now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening. Welcome to the Environmental Impact Commission meeting on Wednesday, April 27th. It's a web-based meeting held on Zoom. All votes will be by roll call. First item on the agenda is roll call. Okay, Dr. Mary.
Here.
Alex Welk.
Here.
Tom Geiger.
Here.
Acceptance of the minutes from April 13, 2022. Tom, Alex, and myself are the only three that can vote on it. I need a motion to accept them first.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to accept the minutes from April 13th.
Is there a second? Tom? Tom, you disappeared on me. Here he
I
comes.
think. Oh,
Hi, Tom.
I got something in front of this picture. I just called my assistant to erase it. Get rid of it so I can see it.
We just had a motion to accept the minutes. I need you to second it.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Are any remarks? Any no remarks? We have a roll call vote.
Thank you.
Alex Welk,
Aye.
Tom Giegler,
Yeah, aye.
myself, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is Sugar Hollow Road, regular activity 1164. Attorney Marcus is somewhere.
Mr. Chairman, good evening. Neil Marcus.
Good evening. How you doing?
Good, good. I think Chris DeAngelis may be joining us too. He's our engineer. Chris, are you there?
I am. This is Chris DeAngelis with Cabezas DeAngelis.
Okay.
Okay, so, Mr. Chair, can I explain what the application is?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
This is a kind of a unique and very somewhat bizarre situation. If you know where the Richfield BMW dealer is on the Danbury Richfield line, In the rear of the Richfield BMW dealer, there used to be an indoor tennis facility called Richfield Athletic Club. And years ago, Richfield Athletic Club, got a site plan for the construction of tennis courts, a bubble that they put over there, a swimming pool, and a little clubhouse and the related parking. And most all of that lies in the town of Richfield. A small little finger of it is actually in Danbury. So what happens is that they went to the city of Danbury back in the 70s and they got an EIC permit to do work in areas that are adjacent to the wetlands, but didn't really involve the wetlands. Basically, it would be the upland review area. There's a finger of wetlands off of the developed portion of the site. And that work was done and nothing was thought about it afterwards. And then in the 80s, they went in and they got a site plan revision from the city of Danbury to renovate and upgrade and they added additional tennis courts to the tennis court facility. And at that point, they really didn't come back to the EIC. And actually the planning review at the time didn't require them to, because they were doing no work that was, again, related to any wetlands or water courses. Roll the clock forward, and the new facility, the brand new dealership that was built about 8 years ago by Richfield BMW, included an acquisition of the old tennis court in the back. And they basically knocked down the bubble or removed the bubble. They took out the swimming pool. They renovated the clubhouse and made it smaller, and they use it for storage. And then they took the old parking area and they improved it and made it a little bigger for parking additional cars. They got all of their permits from the town of Richfield to do this work, because again, almost all of it was in the town of Richfield. They overlooked the fact that a small portion of the property is in the city of Danbury. We are now trying, again, roll the clock forward again further. The property has been sold. There's a new dealer who took over within the last year from the original Richfield BMW group that built the new facility. So in the sale of the building, we were asked to get a certificate of zoning compliance. And at that point, the oversight was realized that they'd never gone back to the city of Danbury. So currently, Chris DeAngelis and me are dealing with Jennifer and the staff to amend the last site plan, which goes back to the 80s, to recognize that we have removed the tennis bubble, we've taken out the swimming pool, we've reduced the size of the clubhouse, and we've actually improved the parking for additional parking on the site. And Jennifer has suggested that since there are wetlands on the site, wetlands, a small finger on the site in an area that's not developed, that we need to come back and show your commission what we are doing. So basically, this application doesn't seek any permit per se, because we're not doing any regulated activity. What we're really doing is, it's more form than substance. We are showing you what is now actually the completed plan. I mean, this work was done years ago to knock down the old tennis club. It was done when they built the new Richfield BMW dealership. And what we're trying to do is to legitimize the work that was done. As part of the review process, as I say, we're coming to you essentially for an administrative approval that what is there does not involve any regulated activity. So that's kind of a long explanation of why we are here, but we're really, as I say, not seeking to do any new work on the site. We're just trying to get the permit for the Danbury portion of the site for work that was done 8 years ago or more.
Is your
So I'll
engineer
be
want
happy
to
to
say
answer
anything?
any questions, or if you have any technical questions about what was done on the site, Chris could probably tell you that as well.
Anyone have any questions? You're saying this is just an informational,
Exactly. Because we don't want, we all, again, we're here to answer essentially any questions you may have, but it's like people don't realize that this parcel, this small section, is in Danbury. It's like they forgot about it. They think it's in Ridgefield.
anyone on the commission have anything to say?
So, Mr. Chairman, if I have a question actually for you, and the question is, would this be an assignment for staff to go about verifying that there are no regulated activities, and that's the what we have to do here? Is that do I understand it correctly?
We could do that, or we could just do an administrative approval. They've already taken out the permit request. And we
All
could
right,
do
does
it
he-
on site. Staff and myself could do it on site. Or look at the plans further.
Well,
If you
that's
wanna make this-
if you think that's necessary. That's what my question really was about.
I don't want to approve it without seeing something, okay?
Right.
I mean, if you want to make a motion of making an administrative approval, you could do that.
As opposed to tabling.
Opposed to tabling. Well, we still have to table. You could table it
Right.
for an administrative approval for the next meeting. Just make a motion to
Okay,
table.
I'll do that. I'll make a motion to table the application. Number is it here?
1164.
1164 for administrative approval till the next pending administrative approval to the next regularly scheduled meeting on
May 11th.
May 11th. Thank you, Mary.
Welcome.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Motion made and seconded, table regular activity 1164 for our next regular meeting, recommending an administrative approval. Roll call vote. Dr. Mary,
Yes.
Alex Walk,
Aye.
Tom Geigler, I'm sorry.
Aye.
Both carries. Thank you. Thanks, Neil.
Thank you. Bernie, if you want to go out and look at the site, or you want to go out with staff and look at it, just give me a call or have Mary give me a call. We'll set a time up, and I'll make sure you can go out, and I'll show you
Okay.
around the back there. I'm happy to do it.
Sounds good. Thank you.
It's a relatively local trip. We won't even bother dragging Chris up from Bridgeport. But if we
Okay.
need an engineer, we'll drag. It's like fresh air camp. We could get him out of Bridgeport, but we'll leave.
Okay.
Thank you, Bernie.
All right,
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, guys.
Next item on the agenda is regular activity 1148R. Old Boston Post Road. Susan, who is,
Okay, good evening. For the record, Dinas Verbicus,
Sure.
professional engineer with
Okay.
Artel Engineering Group, here on behalf of the applicant. Application for 67 Old Boston Post Road is a permit amendment that we are seeking. Earlier in this year, we were granted approval for construction of a deck and septic tank installation at this particular property. And since having gotten that, the property owners have had second thoughts, and we're thinking that, maybe now's the time, rather than just building a deck, maybe they should put an addition on the home as well. Any addition would go straight up above the existing home. So the addition would not extend beyond the confines of the walls that are currently in place. However, at the time, working with the health department and Richard Janey, he had indicated to us that anything beyond the deck would require replacement of the existing septic system. And that is what we have submitted to the commission for consideration, which basically requires excavating out some existing fill materials, bringing in select sand and fill materials for the septic system, and constructing a septic system in the backyard of the existing home. Similar to the original permit, there are no impacts, direct or indirect, to the wetlands, no wetland loss. The wetlands themselves for this parcel are associated with Lake Wabika. The property, it has, well, it's located on the east side of Old Boston Post Road, and the backyard property line is adjacent to or connects to Lake Wabika. The proposed work at its nearest point to the wetlands would be about 35 feet away. And we anticipate that the work associated with the septic installation should not last more than a week's worth of time to get it installed and buttoned up. But that's it in a nutshell. I'm happy to answer any questions, or I can share a screen with you if you wish to see what it's all about. I'm all yours for question and answer.
Abby, did you get to see any of this, Abby? I know you've been busy. Did you see his proposal at all?
I have not.
Okay, all right. Anybody have any questions? You want it up on the screen?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to see on the screen.
Okay. Dennis, would you please?
I sure will.
Oh, I have to enable that, Dinus. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, don't apologize, please.
I was riveted to your presentation.
Riveting, wasn't it?
It was. I believe it's enabled.
Okay, terrific.
Yes.
How's that?
Good.
Did that pop up for everyone?
Yes.
Yes, it did.
Okay, terrific. So right now it's kind of itty bitty, but as you're looking at the screen, along the bottom of the screen, where my pointer is located, is Old Boston Post Road. The home is located generally here, close to the road.
Could you
The
zoom
deck
in
that
on
was previously approved is along the line here where my pointer is. And then just below that, downgrade to the east, however we want to look at it, is the proposed septic system. The edge of Lake Warramug, or Lake Warramug, Wabika, boy, I'm in the wrong town completely. Lake Wabika is located at the top of the screen here. And you can see we've got distances called out from the edge of Lake Wabika to the nearest point on the septic system is about 64 feet away. And then, of course, we have the regulated area delineated across basically half of the property. That's, areas within 100 feet of Lake Wabeeka. The cross section, I'll zoom in on that if you like. Whoa. So the cross section for the septic system requires excavation of some existing soils and then placement of fill on top of the grade, and then placement or installation of a rather compact leaching system from the Geomatrix company. And of course, to do all this, again, requires some bit of earthwork, but again, nothing remotely close to the wetland boundary itself. The nearest point of our silt fence that will be staked in place is about 35 feet away from the wetland, and yet a little bit further removed from Lake Wabeeka itself. I can zoom in on any portion of the screen if you like.
Mr. Chairman, does the septic tank, is that 25 feet from the house, or is it closer because it's a repair?
Well, the septic tank is located about 11 feet away from the deck.
Okay. And it's a
And
pump-up system, I see.
there are no footing drains on this home, so we can
Okay.
be as close as 10 feet away. But
Right.
as it turns out, we are about 26 feet away from the rear, the rear line of the house. And
Okay.
interestingly enough, the septic tank that we are replacing, I'll zoom in for you. Oops. The septic tank, come on, the screen is not moving for me. The septic tank is located right adjacent to the back of the home currently. And I guess like many homes in Lake Wabeeka development, you just have to accept what's there and live with it. But when time allows or a situation arises, then properties in this community update and upgrade their septics and homes to meet current standards, or to the degree that they can. Fortunately, on this property, we would be fully compliant with current standards.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
as long as the sanitarian, looks like I don't see any problem with the system at all where it's located. As long as looks like it meets all the approvals to the state health department. Unless our sanitarian has any other questions on it.
I do actually have a question. When was the soil testing done? I couldn't see it from the picture.
So this soil testing was conducted back in 2016 with Peter Dunn, who has since retired. But when the soil testing was conducted, we conducted it for a small addition that was added to the north side of the home. Kind of on this side of the home, there was a bump out over a deck that used to exist in this location. And when Peter and I went out, the excavations that we had done were with post hole diggers and probes. So we were, if you note on the test holes, the deepest hole was 46 inches, and the shallowest was 32, and we just made the assumption that we had hit ledge, though not likely. So we've designed based on the worst case scenario that the ledge was at 32 inches, and we have the system elevated based on that worst case scenario. The soils were we're surprisingly good from my recollection. And, you know, from a health standpoint, if you wish to have confirmation holes conducted prior to the installation, I'm happy to oblige.
Thank you. I haven't thoroughly looked at the soil data in the plan, but that is something that I would probably recommend.
Okay, cool.
Any further questions? Through Abby?
No, that's all for now. Thank you.
Anybody else have any further questions? A motion to table is in order.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to table application number 1148R until the next regularly scheduled meeting on May 11th.
Seconded.
Motion
Mr.
made and
Chairman.
seconded to table regulated activity 1148R to our next regularly scheduled meeting. Roll call vote. Dr. Mary,
Yes.
Alex Walk,
Aye.
Tom Geigler,
Aye.
myself, carries unanimously. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you so
Thanks,
much. All
Mike.
have a wonderful evening.
Thanks.
So,
Thanks.
next item on the agenda. Regulated activity 1161. Mill Plain Road. Mr. Dodo, I believe, is here.
Yes, hello. For the record, Benjamin Dodo. I'm here representing the applicant, Diamond Point Development. This project was introduced at the last meeting. I don't know if anything has happened on your end. I have nothing more to add at this point, unless anyone has any questions.
Yeah, I don't think we had a chance to do anything with it this last 2 weeks. Anybody have any questions? Abby, you need anything?
Not at this time.
Okay. Yeah, like I said before, if anyone has any questions or Abby has any questions, just feel free to email me.
Okay. Motion to tables in order.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to table regulated activity 1161 until the next regularly scheduled meeting on May 11th.
Here, a second.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded to table regulated activity 1161 to our next regular scheduled meeting. Dr. Mary,
Yes.
Alex Walk,
Aye.
Tom Geigler,
Aye.
myself, motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is 1141R, 12 Great Pasture Road. We have a summary ruling. Mike, my condolences to you, Mike.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Did you get a chance to look at the report, Mike?
I did, and I reviewed it with the applicant and have no issues with anything. I would say that I would like to, you know, on the conditions part of it, there's several there that I would just like to make, you know, again, as a condition, some, you know, add those notes to the plan.
You want to what? I'm
Well, you
sorry.
know how on the conditions, right? There's special conditions of approval,
Yeah,
where they say about the split rail fence.
yes.
What I'm saying is that, you know, if you do approve it based on this staff summary ruling, project impact report by Abby, that what I'll do is I'll make a revision and submit it to you, showing that we put those notes and information on the plan. Does that
Okay,
make sense?
it's fine. Abby, is that all right with you, Abby?
I think that'd be great.
Yeah, because I find sometimes if it's one thing to put on the staff report but it's sometimes better if it's on the plan
Yes,
as well.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, so again, and the other thing too is when we were out at the site walk, the applicant stated that they were, well, number one, they're going to install the silt fence properly and place hay bales in front of the silt fence. That was one of the things that the applicant stated at the site walk that he would do. So I did reaffirm that with him today, just to let you know.
Okay,
All right.
need a motion to accept the summary ruling and the 9 conditions, what was that?
13.
The 13 conditions.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to accept summary ruling 1141R with the 13 conditions of approval.
You're a second.
I'll second.
Second,
Any remarks by anyone?
I
Motion
have
made and
one.
second.
Sorry.
Pardon me?
I just wanted to add that I would like to add another site walk to verify that the silt fence has been installed properly for the.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, thank
Sure.
you.
Motion made and seconded to accept regular activity 1141 with a summary ruling and the 13 conditions. Finding no more remarks? Dr. Mary,
Yes.
Alex Wolk,
Aye.
Tom Geigler,
aye.
myself, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item on the agenda, regulated activity 1162, which is Payneham Road. Did you see the report, Ben?
Yes, I did see the report and I read the conditions. I have nothing else to add unless anyone has any questions of me.
Questions from anyone? Did you want to ask about that drainage, Tom?
Yeah, the question I have is the driveway being so long, feeding two houses, did you make any provisions for the drainage coming down the driveway that's gonna run right out to Penram, to the road? Are you thinking about putting a couple of catch basins in on the side of the road?
Yes, Tom, that's a good question. What we did was the lot one, which is, I'll share the plan with you after I discuss it. Lot one, some of the driveway drainage goes toward that basin that was already built on the lot years ago and before the lot was before construction was stopped. There is no curbing on that upper portion of the driveway, so we sort of have it sheet flow into the lawn and then across. Some of the changes we did make to the plans were for lot two here, the lot to the right that has a longer driveway. We did put curbing along the lower side. And then sort of at the end, right before the Y, what we have is I have like a level spreader infiltration trench. It's about 30 feet long, 6 feet wide and 2 feet deep. The roof drains go into there, as does most of the, not just the driveway drainage, but a lot of the upstream drainage that goes across the driveway. It has a chance to go into the ground there. We didn't want to be dropping pipes right into Payneham Brook here. So we tried to go a little softer with our design here to accommodate the water. But if you don't mind, I'll share the screen. I can do that, Mary?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Can everyone see this drawing?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. So, Tom, to answer your question, we have two items. We have the first basin here, which was also part of our mitigation plan on lot one. And a lot of the drainage goes across, as does the roof drainage go into that basin. And then it either soaks into the ground and goes through sort of an under drain before it goes to the wetlands. And then what we did on lot 2, this area I'm tracing right now is the only curbing we're proposing on the site. And what that does is all the drainage that comes down the hill and across the yard, in addition to the roof drain, ends up going into this infiltration trench, which also functions as a level spreader. Catches the water, puts it into the ground first, and during a heavy rain, if it fills up and overflows, it'll have a chance, 90 or 100 feet of overland flow before it heads into the wetland. This entrance part here, the driveway, if you've been to the site, which I assume you have based on the questions you've asked, the driveway is very flat there. And what we're doing is just putting a crown on it to let water sheet flow to the right and left off of that. We wanted to avoid the pipe to pond system on this as much as we could.
Actually, to tell you the truth, I like this idea better than feeding it into a catch basin and running it down to the stream. This is actually a better idea.
Thank you. We did add that to the plan, the one on the right that wasn't previously there. And then just to get a sense, the infiltration trench, whoops, sorry about that. The infiltration trench, oh, I'm so bad at using this Zoom. I can't wait till we go back live
Next meeting.
with these meetings. Here's the infiltration trench, just to get a sense. And this is a cross section of it. So the driveway has a pitch, and just where the curbing ends, it has a chance to flow into this trench here. There's a perforated pipe. And just to get a sense, the trench is 30 feet by 6 feet by 2 feet deep. And it's actually bigger than that because it feeds right up to the driveway. So we did accommodate that in the design, and it's pretty straightforward. It'll be very easy to maintain because it just, we're going to try to let the contours do what they do now to answer that question.
Oh, that sounds good to me. I mean, my background, what I have done septics for 45 years. So aside, this is really a lot more easier to maintain.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any further questions? We can take that down, Ben, please.
Sure, Bernie.
Need a motion to approve regulated activity 1162 with 11 conditions. I'm sorry, Abby, I'm sorry. Did you have anything you wanted to say?
No, I didn't. Thank you for asking.
Someone wants to make that motion?
Mr. Chairman, make a motion to approve a summary ruling on regulated activity 1162 with the 11 conditions of approval.
Second it.
Motion made and seconded to approve regulated activity 1162, summary ruling with 11 conditions. Any remarks from the commission? No? Try your minds. Dr. Mary,
Yes.
Alex Wolf,
Aye.
Tom Geigler,
Aye.
and myself. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Right.
Good
Next
night.
item on the agenda, regulated activity 1163. Where's Mike? Mike, I'm sorry we kept you here. We haven't had a chance to do anything with this yet, to be honest with you.
No, Mary did tell me that, and I didn't let the client know, but I just wanted to be on just to see if there was any questions. And if not, we'll just wait until Abby, gets her staff report done.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Abby, you have anything you need?
Not at this time. Thank you.
Okay. Motion's in order to table regulated activity 1163 till our next regular scheduled meeting on May 11th, I believe it is.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. Motion, anyone?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to table regulated activity 1163 until our next regularly scheduled meeting on May 11th.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded, table regulated activity 1163 to our next regularly scheduled meeting. Roll call. Dr. Mary,
Yes.
Alex Wolk,
Aye.
Tom Geigler,
Aye.
Bernie Gellis, and I. Okay. Thank you, Mike. Sorry.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is violations. 21A Virginia Avenue. Attorney Beecher is here.
I am, Mr. Chairman. Good evening.
Good evening.
For the record, my name's Tom Beecher and I represent Larry Cote, the owner of the property. And I'm happy to give you a brief update tonight. Before I do, one thing informationally is that you just mentioned that you're going to be live at your next meeting, but this afternoon, the legislature actually approved legislation that allows remote meetings to continue after April 30th. So that's just, for your information, but that just happened today. And the governor's expected to sign it before the 30th.
Okay, thank you. I know City Hall ends there after the beginning of May. I want to see what happens. We'll work on it.
Right. Just thought I'd let you know.
Thank you.
So first of all, Mr. Cote has done everything so far that the city and Paul Zemansky and I have asked him to do. As you know, he's had the perimeter of the back of his property lined with erosion control fencing. He has now also retained Mr. Michael O'Connor, who's the manager of environmental projects at Unicorn Management here in Danbury, who's going to do soil testing out there. Mr. O'Connor is going to finalize his scope of services with Mr. Cote after he receives a CAD file from Paul Zemansky, which outlines the areas and the depths of fill that are on the property. I talked to Paul Zemansky this morning, and he reports that his office has completed their field work, and he hopes to have the volume calculations in time for your next regular meeting. And he'll also then begin work on the remediation plan, but he'll also get that information to Mr. O'Connor. I had informed Mr. O'Connor that when he's ready to do the soil testing, that he should coordinate with the city, and I CC'd you, Mr. Chairman, through Mary, as well as Sean Harity on that particular memo. So I believe that was also forwarded to Ms. Lewis as well. So that's where we are. As you know, just from these meetings, all the engineers and surveyors are extremely busy. So as much as we'd like to be a little further along, that's where we are, but it's no fault of Mr. Cote.
No, we understand that. We understand. Everybody's busy. The thing I was wondering about, Attorney Beecher, there was a large pile of soil in front of the house.
Yes.
I haven't gone back to look at the pictures, but that's all been leveled out and seeded.
Well, it was removed, and what was left was leveled.
What was
and seeded.
removed?
And yes, and we cleared that with Mr. Harity.
With who?
First. Sean Harity, we cleared that with him first.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yes.
I wasn't sure about that. Okay.
Right. Nope. I asked Sean about that first. He said that was fine. We're not doing, nothing has been done from the side of the house back towards the brook.
Yes, I took a look the other day. Okay. Anyone have any questions of Attorney Beecher? Everybody know what we're talking about? I know 21A Virginia Avenue.
Yes.
Have you been out there yet? Oh, we went out, didn't we, Abby?
Yes, we drove by.
Okay. No further questions. We'll just continue this meeting at the next meeting. I don't think I have to table it, but
We understand.
okay. Mary, you all right with that?
Me, yes. whatever you want to do.
Okay, all right, we're gonna leave it till next week. That's all in 2 weeks. And hopefully you guys will have something. Attorney
Thank
Beecher.
you.
Okay, now Paul was here. Did he want to say anything or?
No, he wasn't here tonight. He had another town meeting to go to.
All right, because it says here Paul's iPad.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think that's Mr. Rotello, I think.
I believe so.
Oh, hi, Paul.
Yeah, hi, Bernie.
Okay. Before we adjourn, next meeting is live at City Hall. Unless we hear anything further, as Attorney Beecher said. Mary, you know anything of this?
I do know that it was that they expect it to be voted on before the 30th, and that both Chairman, you and Mr. Hannah have requested to go back to the to City Hall, to the city chambers. And I just thought I would wait and see what happens by Friday.
Right.
However, excuse me for just a moment. I do have to put in some legal notice advertising, and the verbiage will probably indicate one way or the other, depending on how things go. Okay.
Just let me know. Just push me around and I'll take care of it. Finding nothing else on the agenda, a motion to adjourn is in order.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
Motion made and seconded to adjourn at 7:45. Any remarks? Finding none, roll call vote. Dr. Mary,
Yes.
Alex Walk,
Aye.
Tom Geigler,
aye.
and myself. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Good night, and I'll be in touch about location. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.